Hello, welcome to Miniature Realms. My name's Stuart. In this video I'm going to take a look at the skirmish game Moonstone. Miniature Realms is proudly sponsored by Counter-Attack Bases. They stock a wide range of counters, gaming aids and movement trays for multiple game systems and offer custom items to suit your club or even your podcast or YouTube channel. Make sure you check out their old world compatible range. It's expanding all the time. New ranges are being added soon. Look at these fantastic generals tokens to help those of you who are forgetful remember in-game effects and spells and things like that. And look at these old world legacy army token sets as well. Again, more of these are being added all the time and very nice they are. Check out the link in the video description. Moonstone's been on my radar for a number of years, and my friend Chip at Incon Gaming in Cheltenham handed me a couple of miniatures a couple of years ago now and said, you really want to try this game out. I'll come back, we'll do some filming, etc, and I just haven't got round to doing it. Warhammer the Old World has taken over that fantasy space, but I've been keeping an eye on Goblin King Games and I'm keeping an eye on Moonstone for a number of years now. I've watched lots of their interviews on the Jordan Salisbury channel and I've always had it earmarked as something to try out. So when they reached out and got in touch and said, would you like some stuff to have a look at and review and to paint, I jumped at the chance. So this lovely little box of goodies arrived, including this year's Halloween special. It's only on sale to the 31st of Halloween. Count the candies, more about that a little bit later on. But a couple of faction starters and this two-player starter set as well, which is what I'm mostly going to be focusing on in this video. So this is the Dusk Till Dawn two-player starter set. There are other starter sets as well, depending on what starter factions you like. You've got 8 miniatures, 4 aside in this, and then you've got your cards for playing the game, your arcane deck and your melee deck, as well as all the stat cards for each of the miniatures as well. You've got card stock, which is really good quality thick card stock with a measuring device on there and all the little blue markers for sort of basically giving you your energy. So everything you need to play the game. You've got a rule book in there as well, included in the set. It's the basic version of the rules, but it's absolutely everything you need, and it's just really nicely produced and everything you need outside of the terrain and the game surface that you need to play the game on. The miniatures are really interesting. I would call them high-end quality boutique sculpts, and the casts are really good as well, all in resin. I mentioned my son already was playing the game with me, and as a 10-year-old he could pick up the rules no problem. As a game for kids to start with, my only concern would be these miniatures. As much as they're beautiful, they're also going to be quite delicate, so they may lead to some breakages. They're not your kind of big chunky Warhammer models. It's not aimed at 10-year-olds, so that's not a critique of the game, but just a note, because I mentioned playing it with my 10-year-old, and I will continue to. There would be some concerns about if this was the game you put a lot of money into starting with your young kids, and then they were maybe breaking things, and they definitely couldn't be building these themselves. I wouldn't let my 10-year-old anywhere near any super glue. Plastic glue maybe, but not super glue as well. So it's worth bearing in mind when I make references to my kids playing as well. But they are stunning miniatures, loads and loads of character and loads of humour. Reminds me of Terry Pratchett, Time Bandits, Warhammer as well to a certain extent, but definitely a lot more whimsical in its take on that. You know, the humans, you'll see lots of references that will make you think of Empire, I'm sure, and then there's the goblins that remind me a little bit of some of the gobos from Warhammer, but also from War Machine. Loads and loads of sort of Malifaux. So if you've played Malifaux, you'll recognise bits of it. I think not just the gameplay and the style of it, but also some of the look and some of the humour with some of the miniatures. And I think that's really cool, and it probably attracts a different group of people sometimes as well. My wife loves board games. We've got a huge collection. I'm not talking Monopoly, I'm talking things like Catan, but she absolutely gets games like that, but not super into fantasy. But she used to love playing Malifaux with me because of the mechanics of the game. It felt different, not like you're just trying to kill each other, and this game is like that. It's got a lot of similarities. She liked playing Blood Bowl as well because of the sport element, but she's not too worried about the miniatures.
but she did like these miniatures. You can see them and think they're cute, and it's something that she's interested in trying. When we have our games nights, which we do quite often on a Saturday night as a family, she wants to play, and you can play this game with more than 2 players as well. You can play it with 3 players, etc. So I can see there being a 3-way game with myself, my 10-year-old, and my wife, and she's really interested in it. And it just shows the kind of game it is, that it maybe appeals to a wider group, to board gamers, card gamers as well. Maybe this could be their first miniatures war game. The rules are really straightforward and really easy to read through, to be honest with you. And I watched a tutorial online that showed me how to play, and that was pretty simple. These rules are free as well, that you can download them from the website, and you get basically a PDF copy of what you get in the box. It's no frills, there's not lots of colour pictures and lore or anything like that. You have to buy the larger rule book to get that. In terms of a starter set, there's just absolutely everything you need. It's well laid out and no problems at all. And I'm not a great rules person first time round. I prefer to have people show me how to play a game, and then I'll go and read it through, and then it falls into place. I didn't have that issue here. The game is incredibly simple, some lovely mechanics in the way it works, and I'll talk about that a little bit as we see our game. I'm not going to teach you how to play here. There are better people to go and do that, but we laid it up, set it up, and had no problems getting started straight away. Checked the rule book a couple of times, but just worked through it turn by turn, and by sort of turn 3 we were on it, we were going, we were ready to play by ourselves. As we saw at the top of the video there, he kindly sent me a couple of the little faction sort of expansion packs, so to speak. You get 3 characters in each of these. You get their stat cards, so everything you need to play those characters. I haven't built these ones yet. I didn't want to make this video super long. I wanted to keep it as something that people can dip into and get a bit of an idea of what the game's like. But I intend to return to these definitely for some painting videos, and I will share them with you in the future, because I do want to get these painted, all of them, and keep playing this game. As I've already mentioned with my family, it's going to be the target for this game. It's going to be the family war game, if that makes sense. I didn't have any issues at all building these, but I built an awful lot of miniatures. So if you are new to resin miniatures, you may want to give them a wash. I actually didn't with these, didn't feel they needed it. There's no real release agent that I could see on there. They were pretty delicate, but they went together very well, and I didn't break anything. So maybe the resin's got quite a little bit more flex than I initially look at, but they are very fine detailed on some of them. So certain weapon parts are pretty small, but built them all in about 20 minutes flat, so no problem at all. Very little in the way of mold lines or anything like that to file away. Now this is the Count the Candies Halloween special miniature they sent as well. It's only available to buy up until the end of Halloween UK time, I believe. So if you do like this miniature and you're watching this in time, go and purchase it. I didn't have time to paint all of the miniatures, but I did want to get this one painted, something to put on the thumbnail. I'd also share it with you, as I know it's a limited edition. If you were interested in picking up, you could see what it looks like painted up from my perspective. Obviously you've got the studio, their official artwork there, but they don't seem to have many painted pictures of the miniatures on their website. You get the beautiful render pictures, and you get some colour art of them sometimes, but not often studio paint jobs. And I've seen these miniatures, their own studio miniatures, at shows and things, and they are absolutely stunning. They're absolutely beautiful, far better than I could ever do. So if you ever get the chance to see them when you're at an event or something like that, go and look at their official studio collection, because it's absolutely stunning stuff. Now, I haven't done anything groundbreaking with this miniature, and I'm not going to turn this into a painting tutorial either. My usual method, if you follow the channel, lots and lots of black prime zenithal highlighting, and then using contrast to do a little bit of base coating, but not entirely with this miniature. Use a real mix of those kind of techniques and more traditional kind of layering techniques. Either way, I always layer on the top of my contrast paints, but they're so fun. And one of the things that really attracts me to this game, not only is the low model count, as I say, 12 miniatures maximum in a game. And so if there's 2 of you, that's 6 aside. If there's 3 of you, it doesn't increase. You just get less miniatures per player, which is just a really interesting way to do the game. There's no points for them. You play that many miniatures in the game, and that's how it works. I just like it. It's really straightforward and simple in that way. The way that relates to painting and why it interests me so much is because they're all characterful. So I can spend a little bit of time just on one miniature, put some music on, listen to an audiobook, kick back and just enjoy painting for the sake of painting this one-off miniature, rather than worrying about, oh, I've got another 25 of these to do to fill out a unit, which I don't mind doing, but it's nice just to paint a character when everything in your army is a character. That's just great fun. So I will tell you about my gameplay experience in a moment, but this is the finished Count de Candes, and I'll try to remember to pop a link for this one directly in the pinned comments on this video, so you can go and grab it quickly if you did want to pick it up before it wasn't available anymore because of Halloween. So 31st of October in the UK is the end date that you can pick this limited edition miniature up. That's the end of just talking about what's in the box. The miniatures are stunning. You can make your own decision on that. You can see the pictures. You're either going to like them or not. But I can tell you that the quality of them is absolutely fantastic. But I really wanted to try this game and not just unbox this game. I really wanted to try it out because I wanted a war game that I could play with my family, not something like Warhammer the Old World, which I play with my son a bit, but it's my all-encompassing hobby. I wanted something that would be easy and fun to play on a Saturday night that I can set up on my kitchen table as well, rather than always coming up to the gaming room here in the office. So it needed to be simple. It needed to be not just killing. It needed to have nice little quirky and fun interactions that would keep my wife interested in as a game, rather than what they're doing in terms of the fighting, because she just won't get drawn in by the lore. She'll like a miniature maybe, say that's cute, but it'll be about the gameplay, so it has to be fun and engaging. So I really wanted to try it out. I decided the first thing to do was to see if I can find a tutorial online to watch first, because I always find it easier to absorb rules if I've already have a bit of an idea in the first place of what it looks like. I found a how to play on Warriors Table Wargaming, and it's probably hands down the best how to play tutorial for any game system I've ever watched, and I'm going to try and remember to link it in now. I very much, if not, I will pop it in the video description. If I've forgotten, shout at me in the comments, because you should go and watch it, because it's the best way of really understanding how this game works. It's about an hour long, but I felt after watching it that I could go and play the game, and I did. I didn't then reread the rules fully. I skimmed them a bit and I just checked them as I was going through. It's that good. Really, really enjoy it, so go and watch it. It took no time at all to set everything up. I'm not using the recommended 3x3 board here. This is 3.5 by 2.5 essentially. So I've got a couple of mats like this that I'm using for Battle March. It's one of the GW sizes that they're using for smaller games at the moment. I will probably continue to use this size because it fits on my kitchen table downstairs as well in terms of its width. But I didn't have any issues. Might reduce the deployment from 10 inches down to 8 inches in, but we had no issues at all playing like this. And you scatter your moonstones, which you're collecting, like that. You just drop them on the table. They're using D4s that you get in the box, and then you roll off to see who goes first. But all of the actual mechanics of the game are done using cards rather than dice. You're not actually using the dice to fight or attack or anything like that. And essentially you're trying to collect those moonstones. They are at different levels in the ground depending on the level on the dice. So if it's the number 1 on the top, you'd only need to use one action to pull it out the ground essentially. If it's 4, you'll need to keep using actions to slowly dig it up. You get your little measuring thing in the box as well. It's quite thick cardstock that will probably last quite a while, and it's just super easy. Really nice card interactions as well. You've got an arcane deck and a melee deck. The arcane deck, you basically have a number of coloured cards, so there's green, there's blue, and there's pink, and you'll get 3 1s, 2 2s and 1 3 in there, and you can bluff for your attack level. So you say, I'm gonna put down a green 3 and you need green, and your opponent might say, you're lying, and if you are lying, they can then swap that out for a different card, which might mean the effect doesn't work, or they can cause damage back on you with a catastrophe card. Though if you were telling the truth or you've managed to bluff them, then you're dealing damage on there, and it tells you on the card, depending on the attack that you are doing, whether you've got extra to add on to that, and there's loads of different permutations, as you can imagine. This isn't a tutorial, this is just giving you an overview of the gameplay. And the melee is really cool as well. So you have a melee deck, you're dealt a number of cards each, and you are essentially blind showing off cards, a little bit top trumps-esque, but when you flick your cards over, and depending on which ones you choose, they interact with each other. So you may pick one that's risky, that potentially scores more damage, but if they choose a different defense card, you might end up receiving more damage than them. And in melee, both sides can receive damage. It's not just the attacking player as well. You have your kind of energy points, which are affected by your wounds. So as you lose wounds, you'll have less of your actions essentially that you can do unless you can heal yourself up. Lots of the miniatures have loads of synergies in a way that you can take healing off if you're within a certain number of inches after you've done something like else. And if you've played Malifaux and you've played War Machine, those kind of card-driven games or stat card-driven games, then you'll be aware of that kind of skirmish. Lots of it around at the moment. I wouldn't even say it's modern anymore. These kind of miniature games have been around for a number of years, but loads and loads of fun. And just all the rules you need are just there in front of you on the card. It takes no time at all to sort of pick it up. And Jacob and I were having lots of fun in no time at all. That was getting quite rambly there, but I just wanted to quickly share an overview of the experience we had playing the game first time around, rather than telling you how to play the game, especially when there's such an excellent tutorial out there, and there's others on YouTube as well. Incredibly simple. Download the rules for yourself and have a little read through and see what you think. But it was great fun and super easy to do. Yes, I've only painted the one miniature, and there was no painted miniatures there on the table, which isn't something I normally have on the channel. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a couple of little videos, take a few pictures, so I can share the experience. And rather than just talking to you like I am now, you can at least see some pictures and see that we played the game. But again, it's just super fun. I really enjoyed it, and I recommend anyone who was looking for a nice light skirmish game with low model count that to give it a go, or at least consider it amongst all the other games that you might be looking at. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully some of my enthusiasm for the game has come through there. I'm a very busy war gamer. I've got lots of big projects on. This isn't going to dominate my gaming, but I really want to make it a side project, as I've said, to play with the family, and that means the chance to paint a few of those miniatures. It doesn't mean it's going to dominate the channel now. I'm not going to start covering every release on Moonstone, but I will definitely use some of those miniatures in painting tutorials and ways to demonstrate different techniques and things. So you will see more Moonstone in the future because of that, I'm sure. But it's such a great game. I really wanted to make this video and share it with you, because I know so many of you, like me, will play games with your family, or play games just as a refresh, as a palate cleanser away from your main war game that you kind of exist within that world, like I do with Warhammer the Old World, like many of you do with Warhammer the Old World if you're following this channel. But it's great fun. Go and take a look at it. If you have enjoyed the video, as I say, comment below, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Do check out Goblin King Games. There will be links in the video description for them. Check out that tutorial video on how to play it as well. It's so good. Don't forget the Count of Candies miniature is limited as well, so go and check that out quickly, because you won't have many days based on when I'm going to be putting this video out. And if you'd like to support me more directly, please do check out all my links in the video description as well, including my Patreon, the very best way of supporting me. And thank you to all my existing patrons for all the support that you give me. Check out the channel sponsor, Counterattack Bases. Loads of amazing counters and gaming aids, including custom dice as well. But thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you soon.